name is Bill, and today I'm going to take you back to your childhood in a nice bowl of cream and tomato soup. But this is my version. This is a little more adult. It's not a can of soup. I'm sure everyone remembers, maybe you weren't feeling well. Big thing was that my mom would open up a can of cream and tomato soup, and it was empty the can out, and then you filled the can up with milk, heated it up, and my mom sometimes put a pinch of dill in. I don't know why we had dill, always had dill in the spice rack. But anyway, so let's get started on this. I got 3 tablespoons of olive oil. It's just starting to shimmer, so I know it's pretty hot. Try to heat just a little bit. And basically, you want to chop everything up. We're going to simmer it for quite a while, but in the end, we're gonna process it. So we're going to get that fineness to it. So we don't have to worry about too much about the size of what goes in it. So I've got this is basically 2 cups of carrots that I chopped up. I don't have to splatter myself too bad. 2 cups of red onion. I thought that was interesting when I found it mentioned a recipe about using red onion for tomato soup. So I thought, I'll try it. And give this a little stir. Good and hot, nice sizzly. Just a reminder, I always like to use pretty decent extra virgin olive oil. Thank goodness my local grocery store has BOGOs all the time, so I can get decent stuff. That's not a place to skimp. But also remember that your olive oil does have a lower smoke point, so we really don't want. You're not going to deep fry an olive oil. Plus, that tastes fun. But all we're doing here is sautéing. The onions are already changing color. Everything's smelling good. Had a nice little storm come through here a minute ago, so kind of delayed me getting started, so I'm already hungry. So carrot's a great thing to use, and especially because, like I said, we're going to process this, so you're not going to have the texture of the carrot. It's a good natural thickener, and you get that real sweetness. Back in the day, we used to, scrape the carrots, to get all the outer skin off, like peeled carrots. And I don't do it now. I just brush them off. If you get a little dirt in here, it's probably not going to kill you, but I do get most of the dirt off. Okay, this is looking beautiful. That's funny. I'm not a huge fan of carrots unless I'm eating chicken wings, but I like them cooked in things. Said you really get that sweetness. And these are fresh. These came, right from the produce market. The reason we buy them is because they come with the tops on, and our rabbits eat the tops. Rabbits aren't supposed to eat carrots because of the sweetness. They convert to sugar. Okay, it's nice and cooked. Everything's fogging my glasses up. The onion's turning translucent. Carrots are definitely softening. And this is really expedited by the fact that I've cut everything pretty small. And ultimately in, because we're going to simmer this for probably half an hour before we process it. So I'm not too concerned, but you want the heat to release the flavors and kind of the aromas. Like I said, I'm really excited about trying this because I want to see what that red onion does to Okay, now, ta-da, like always, I got 3 cloves of garlic that I minced up. Once again, garlic you don't want to cook for too long, so you don't want to burn it. I'll kind of stir this quick. Really only about a minute. Oh yeah, that garlic hits that heat, man. Just want to get that a little soft without turning color. And this is kind of a different recipe because you do want to keep stirring it. I'm not letting stuff sit so that it coats the bottom. We don't want to necessarily have a bunch of brown stuff on the bottom here. You could use non-stick pan. I don't use them except for skillets. I used to before I knew how to cook. Sure, like a lot of other people my age, they had that wear-over set when they were younger. Non-stick aluminum. Yeah, didn't dissipate heat very well, so. Okay. How much I want to do here. Turn down just a hair so nothing burns up. So I got 2 cans of fire roasted crushed tomatoes. These really dropped the temperature of the pot pretty quick. Of course, I turned it down a little bit. Oops. Yep. So remember, we don't want this real tart. And you know, if you talk to a person that loves to make Italian food and red sauces, you can bring out the flavor with a little bit of sugar, and it's going to keep it a little sweeter. So all we're going to add is a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon of sugar. And I need some tomato paste. Going to kind of eyeball it about 2 tablespoons. That was probably a little too much, but it's not going to hurt it. I'll stir this together. And those fire roasted tomatoes. If you really want to be fancy, what you're going to want to do is take some whole tomatoes from the market and slather them with olive oil and throw them in a hot oven and roast them yourself. But I'm really trying to stick to that whole motto of you can do things that taste really good and are easy. A little easier. Keeping this hot, so we're keeping this up to a good boil. All right, went out to the garden this morning. Got myself some basil. I need about half a cup, quarter to half a cup of basil. Fresh basil is always hard. It's so sprung out. We want enough for the flavor. That's really going to be our flavor in here. Should we keep this all boiling? box of chicken stock. This is unsalted. You know, just like pouring anything else, you want to keep the air holes, so if you actually turn this upside down, it's easier to pour out. Watch people struggling and they try and pour it this way, it goes glug, 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 and they're squeezing it. But if you notice, as long as the air's getting back in, it works pretty easy. If I were a famous chef, I'd be cutting the top off or stabbing the box or whatever they do that I've seen on TV. Like always, we just want a little flavor enhancement. Literally, a pinch of salt. And because it's me, fresh ground black pepper. And washing your hands. Happy birthday twice, right? I'm just kidding. So now we have this big pot of soup. We want to get it simmering. Get those flavors all mixing together. And here's the hard part. I want to get this, I want to see a little action in here because I do need to cook this down. So I'm just going to stir it around, look for some bubbles. Put a lot of room temperature stuff in there, as you saw. It's a lot of volume. And just because I might forget, I'm going to set my timer. 30 minutes. Might not take that long. That's the outside. Just want to let this cook down and thicken up. I haven't hit start yet because I haven't seen the bubbles yet. Hot. I've got this about a little more than medium, but medium high. So I know once I start seeing bubbles, I'm going to have to turn it down a little bit. And just keep an eye on it. And just because you set the timer doesn't mean you can, go run to the store. I do what you don't see when I stop filming, just so you don't have to stand here and listen to me babble for half an hour, is I don't really leave here. I might throw some stuff away, recycle my tins, my cans, because I'm big on that. Clean up some dishes, but I always keep an eye on what I'm cooking. It's real important. I can hear it. Gurgling like my stomach. So basically, got some little bubbles coming to the surface, but I've still got it up pretty high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start my 30-minute countdown. And I just want to watch it for a couple minutes because this thing's going to start that bloop, 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 bubbling, and I got to turn it down. And yeah, it's already smelling good. And it really wasn't a whole lot of ingredients, and as long as you have everything prepped a little bit, it's pretty simple. Like I said, I wanted to simplify it, so I'm using the cans, the big cans of crushed tomatoes. They're fire roasted. These Muir Glen organics are really great. My grocery store has them all the time on sale, so I stock up. A little bit of chicken stock for flavor, and I always use the unsalted. Tomato paste. It seems like a lot of recipes I've been making require it, so I'm keeping a lot of that in hand. Made some great pasta with shrimp. I put some tomato paste in just to give the sauce a little more zip and life. It was really good the other night for dinner. Alright, bubbles are coming ever so slightly. They're just breaking the surface now. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. I'm going to watch it. And we've only got 2 minutes to pass, so I still got 28 minutes left. And I will be back to show you what this all looks like in half an hour. Talk to you later. final stirs on it. It's actually cooked down a little bit. The flavors are smelling great. It's not finished, so I haven't tasted it yet, but everything's looking pretty good. And we're really close to the end, so I'm going to turn off the heat. Just make sure I've got everything unstuck from the sides. Ended up turning down pretty low, so it was still a pretty aggressive boil, but it wasn't like flopping all over the place. And just turn it off. It's been just about half an hour. It's got been half an hour. All right. So this is the last step, and I just want to get it off the heat. And still pretty toasty. And you could either do this in batches in a blender, food processor. This is a time when I really like having immersion blender. Just want to get this, just gonna mix this up a little bit. A lot of the bigger chunks are floated up to the top, so you really want to force it to stay above the bottom for a little bit. And we're just going to work this for another minute or so. Consistency here. So I've got, it's cream of tomato soup. I've got 3/4 cup of whipping cream. Mix it right in here. I'm just going to blend this in. Oops. It wasn't a whole lot of work. It would be a little harder if you had to take a bunch of trips in a blender. All right, I'm just set this aside. Got a little trusty ladle here. Do a little mix around. If this were too cool, if it cooled down at all, you could have heated it back up. Basically, I'm just gonna, got a couple croutons we're gonna toss in here. You could chiffonade some basil, put on top, but this isn't for a party. This is just for lunch for me. This looks really good. I really hope you try it. Don't be afraid. You know, I tried to show that I've used my immersion blender for a few things, and I'm doing that because I'm one of the people that fought buying one because I thought it was such a unitasker, when in fact, now that I have it, I use it for a lot of stuff. Shop around, get them cheap enough, and just make sure you get a decent one, read the reviews, and have fun with it. And I hope you enjoy this. Of course, I would love it if you would comment, subscribe, watch my videos, let me know what your thoughts are, questions, make suggestions, and have a great day. I'm going to try this soup.